Monsters have taken over northern Australia.
I never go near the water without a firearm.
An invasion of giant crocodiles.
They are the most croc-infested waters in the world.
Man-eaters on a killing spree.
It's too dangerous now. They've lost their fear of humans.
They're everywhere, and they're growing.
Those crocs are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
We protected them, and now they're hunting us.
Keep your eyes and ears peeled, boys. She's around.
I've come to help in the fight back. If he starts running around like a nut with his mouth open, just haul ass. And to discover why these deadly predators have taken over.
I've never seen an animal that big.
For answers, I'm going deep into the lair of the killer crocs. I'm Paul Bedard. The guy you call when there's an alligator in your backyard pond, canal, or swimming pool. As a licensed alligator trapper and alligator wrestler, I've had my share of close calls. I thought I'd seen the worst, but now giant gators are showing up in Florida.
In Okeechobee, South Florida, a giant gator was killed after months of eating cattle.
Are these monsters invading my home turf? Just like the giant man-eaters in Australia? I've come halfway around the world to try to understand the war raging between man and monster croc.
A man has been killed in the Northern Territory.
A dozen officers from the Tactical Response Group searched for traces of the girl.
Crocodiles are now bigger than before.
The croc containing human remains shot and killed yesterday.
And we recovered the remains of a male person.
50 years ago was a very different story. Hunters had almost wiped out saltwater crocodiles. Since then, protected by law, they've made an epic and scary comeback. And in Australia, they kill twice as many people as sharks. I'm here to see how bad it really is, and what lessons I can learn. This area of the Northern Territory is the epicenter of the croc-human conflict. And one ranch on the most croc-infested river in the world is where I'm going to start my hunt for answers. Ranch manager Adrian Phillips is fighting to survive. Adrian.
Yeah.
People keep pointing me to you. They say you get some big crocs on this ranch.
Yeah, we've got some big crocs here, Paul, and a lot of issues with them. They're taking down full-grown cattle. I've got a cow here that had a big chunk taken clean out of its shoulder. I've got a cow and it's been scalped from the eyes right down, nose all twisted. It's a big, big problem. It's costing us a lot of money.
What do you think it costs you a year just in cattle?
It's hard to put an exact figure on it, but I'm sort of leading from 50 to 100,000 a year.
Just in cattle?
Just in cattle losses. And at the moment, there's one particular croc. He's one hell of a big crocodile, mate. He's truly over 6 metres.
You realize 6 metres is like world record. More than 6 metres means he's over 20 feet long. That could be one of the world's biggest.
I haven't put a tape measure on him, but when you fly over him in a helicopter and he's bigger than your helicopter, that's a pretty good indication. I've got to do something because it's going to take a human life pretty soon.
Right, yeah, you can. Any croc that's big enough to kill a cow can and will attack a human. All of the ranch workers here are in danger. In the rainy season, the land floods. Crocs are everywhere. It's so bad that Adrian brought in a legendary croc hunter to fight back. Crocodile Mick Pittman is one of the most experienced croc hunters in the world, with more than 18,000 captures to his name. He's been trapping crocs for 37 years. A poacher as a younger man, his expertise is now in demand all across the region. Today, he legally removes killer crocs and turns a problem into a profit. I'm eager to meet the guys in the front lines. I'd like to help catch some of these monsters and learn some techniques I can bring back home.
How you going there?
How you doing?
G'day, mate.
Mick and his team have set up camp right in the field of battle.
Oh, there's a lot of crocodiles here, mate, and they're all big.
Yeah?
Yeah, my word, there is.
I'd love to help out.
Well, why not? We've got a mobile trap that we tow around with a quad on wheels.
Oh my God, that thing's huge.
Well, we're going for the biggest croc, so we need the biggest trap.
Oh, this thing's awesome. This isn't a croc trap. It's a fortress on wheels, designed to contain a very angry 20-foot crocodile, thrashing violently. All aluminum too, huh? Nice and light. Our target is a super croc that Adrian's seen around the ranch.
Pull a string and there she goes. Not getting out of there.
Not getting out of that.
No way.
For the first time in Australia, I'm getting a sense of what we're up against.
I tell you what, I'd love to get a croc that would fill that trap.
Yeah, I think we should bait her up and get it working.
All right.
It's no good sitting here on the wheels.
We're heading to the main point of access where crocs stream onto the property. And the monster croc has been sighted in the past. Known to have the highest concentration of crocs in the world, the Mary River feeds directly into a watering hole for Adrian's herd. Before we prep the trap, Mick patrols the area, checking for signs of Adrian's super croc.
I'd like to get this done and then get the hell out of here because he's not afraid. He'll come out and fight for what he reckons he is.
Roger Matthews is one of the most experienced croc wranglers in the territory and Mick's right-hand man.
Crossing over the causeway the other night, I was seeing the biggest eyes I've ever seen on a crocodile in my life. It sent shivers up my back. So I think that's the big one we're after. He's in excess of 5.5 meters. So every time I go across that crossing, I always have a loaded gun, because obviously I don't want to be one of his meals.
It's pretty important that we do get this animal caught. He's been watching everybody crossing the causeway, so it's making it really dangerous for Adrian's workers.
It's hard to shake the feeling we're being watched. We all know we're surrounded by crocs and a prime target for attack. We gotta get this trap set and get out of here as fast as we can.
Once he smells that, he'll walk around it and try and get in. All we're relying on is him coming in for a look and touching that string. Or grabbing that and pulling it a little bit sideways even.
Try the cord line just to make sure it all works. And then just reset the door.
Touchdown!
Dia's definitely hanging around. Once he recognizes this as not a threat, I think he's more likely to go in.
If there's nothing here within 2 days, we'll just throw the wheels on it, lift her up, pull her out, and move it another 100 meters.
Right. While we wait for a croc to take the bait, I have to remember it's not just cattle being killed. A massive network of waterways connects everything in the region. Crocs are everywhere. The Adelaide River is a scene of several recent deaths in the territory.
Yeah, last year we had a fella taken. He was up there fishing on the top of the bank. Fishing line snagged on the bottom, and without thinking, he just walked in to unhook his line. As soon as he touched the water, he was taken. Just over there, that first shiny bit of mud bank you can see.
Yeah.
That's the location there.
Can we go over and check that bank out?
Yeah, sure, mate.
The guy just wanted to do a little fishing. He had no idea what was waiting for him in these waters.
How many crocs do you recognize in this one spot?
There's probably about 40 crocodiles in this area. And this is where the Vietnamese fella was taken on the bank.
Right here.
The fella came down that high ridge of that mud bank.
So the water was up to here then?
Yeah, it was up 3
So the croc would have been probably laying on this little ledge?
Yeah, just in here. With the water as dirty as it is,
yeah,
croc's got perfect cover.
And as soon as he feels those ripples hit the water?
Yep. And he didn't have to show himself once and just grabbed him straight away.
The guy comes from a different country. When you snag your line, he walks in and gets his hook. It's
That's
second
right.
nature.
Yeah.
But you don't know that there's 20 crocs in the river. You're literally walking into a death trap. That's a shame.
It was a shame.
With over 1,000 crocs living in the murky water, entering this river is an instant death sentence. If I want to confront one of these monsters, it'll have to be in clear water. There's a place in Darwin where I can look a real man-eater in the eyes. Back home, I swim with American alligators all the time. But this animal is a different beast. More than 18 feet long and close to a ton. I'm about to get a good look at a certified super croc. This thing is awesome. I can see why these creatures have survived for millions of years. But seeing this croc, all I can think about is the fisherman killed in the river. I can't even imagine what was racing through his mind when he was dragged under. And pinned down in those jaws until he drowned. With the strongest bite force of any animal in the world, it would have been impossible to escape. Saltwater crocs are the biggest and some of the most aggressive of all crocodilians. Growing up to 25 feet, that's almost 10 feet longer than any gator that's been caught in the past 100 years. And a true super croc can easily tip the scales at 2,000 pounds. Creatures like the monster in that tank. That's what's running rampant across Australia's Northern Territory, eating Adrian's cattle and threatening the lives of his workers. Back at the ranch, we're making rounds of mixed traps and could see right away he'd made a catch in the night. The door's down and something's taking the bait.
What do you got, Stretch?
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, we'll go and snap him up and pull him out, eh? Tie him under a nice shady tree over here so he can sort of chill out for a little bit.
Yeah, let's get him out of there. I'm excited, man. This is one seriously dangerous crocodile. Definitely big enough to kill Adrian's cattle.
Plan is we'll top jaw him. Nick will hang over, secure the bottom to the top. We'll pull him out. We'll have these hessian bags will be wet, throw it over the eyes, put some tape around his mouth.
All right, let's do it. Before we do anything else, we'd like to get a rope around his mouth so he can't bite. No one wants to get into a cage match with a croc.
He's not real happy either.
The safest method is to noose him from the outside of the trap.
Knows if that rope's about right? He does.
This croc is mad right now because he knows he's about to get caught, I think. Roger's just getting a top jaw rope on as perfect as we can get it. And Nick's gonna secure the bottom jaws. He's gonna try to push his nose down and get that noose over his mouth, get the mouth closed.
If the croc pulls Mick in, there's nothing we could do. He'd be dead in seconds. It'd definitely be good to get 2 ropes on a croc this size. The noose around his mouth and the blue line on his jaw so we can pull him out of here.
We're gonna open this gate up. We'll drag him out. There's a chance that jaw rope is gonna pop off. Yeah. He's gonna be wide open. If he starts running around like a nut with his mouth open, we'll wrap around a tree to keep him, but just haul ass.
Everyone needs to stay in their A game. This is when it gets real. His thrashing's already thrown off the safety line. We're down to 1 rope, and now he's mad as hell.
His mouth is open. His mouth is
open. We caught our first croc, but to protect Adrian's cattle, we gotta capture many more. And the monster's still out there. This guy's already thrown off the safety rope.
His mouth is open. His mouth is open.
And he's not going down without a fight.
You guys pull. I'm gonna get his. I'm gonna free his tail up. I'll goose him this way.
Just one swat of that tail can break a man's legs or knock him unconscious.
You hold, keep the tension on the rope.
Once his eyes are covered, we can then get the noose around his mouth again. But nobody's safe until Roger tapes up those powerful jaws.
Where's the handcuff? He's beautiful, man. I love him.
We'll get him up in the shade. Just pull him up. Get him away from the trap. Pull.
This is a serious beast. One of the biggest I've helped catch. Before anybody can relax, we still have to strap down his legs.
You give us that other leg pull. This is just so he doesn't move around too much. Take away his ability to fight us. And easier to transport.
You're never completely safe. Even all tied up, they can roll violently and still do some serious damage. This may not be our super croc, but we still want to know how big it is.
You want to measure him?
Yeah, mate.
I'm going 4 meters even.
I'll go 3'9".
3'9"? All right. Well, he's 12 feet 7 or 89. Let's call it 99, 39. You suck.
You can't beat the master.
That's crazy. This is average for you guys.
Yeah,
this
the
is
average.
Huge.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. That was awesome. That was my first salty catch I've been involved in. It's a nice one.
Well, thank you. And you know what? It's not as dangerous as getting the big one, but now you know what we're in for.
Yeah.
We'll rebait the trap and keep going after the monster.
This croc is big enough to eat cattle and people, so he'll be removed from the property. But there are a lot more threatening this ranch and everybody here. We've still got a lot of work to do. The monster invasion is real. Mick and Roger can't keep up with all the desperate calls for help they receive. It wasn't always this way.
Gone are the days in swimming in the waters here. I came back to the Northern Territory in 1985 as an 18-year-old, and we had no town water, so every afternoon we used to head down to the Adelaide River to have a bath. And now I wouldn't even put my big toe in the water because they are the most croc-infested waters in the world.
I tell people the safest place to swim is in your shower, because at least you can see the bottom, you know. They're big animals, and there seem to be a lot of them on this property.
That's what kills me, is the amount of, not only the amount of crocodiles, the amount of big crocodiles you guys have.
Big
it's
crocodiles.
Crazy. Average size of the alligator in Florida is probably 6-7 feet. You guys are talking 14-foot average. That's like mind-boggling to me. It's estimated 150,000 crocs are now living in the territory. The ranch has turned into a pit stop for big, hungry monsters.
You know, we're dealing with a really cagey and smart animal, you know. That's the thing where we've got problems. They're old and they've been through the ringer, so they know everything what's going on, every little trick in the book.
Mick reminds me, some of the older guys live 75 years or more. That means there are crocs here that were alive during World War II. We really have to be in our game to capture a creature that survived for so long. In a place famous for deadly shark attacks, crocodiles kill twice as many humans these days. The bodies of croc victims end up here, with a man who investigates every death in the region.
We've grown up in Australia knowing that sharks may take us and kill us and eat us. But we've grown up without any other animals on our mainland who are capable of killing us and eating us. However, now we have.
And you've noticed these cases going up?
Look, in the last 15 years, we've done 20 or so public inquests into deaths caused by crocodiles. It is my informed speculation that of the missing persons in the Northern Territory, up to 100 have been taken by crocodiles over the last 20 or 30 years. And that's something that is not out to the general knowledge of the public. We've now got crocodiles that are man-eating animals.
Coroner Greg Kavanaugh keeps the skulls from killer crocs. Now, the skull of this crocodile, what was the story on that?
A happy family, been fishing in this particular spot for almost 20 years. Dad was using a bucket from the end of his boat. He was reaching down, passing up buckets of water for a shower for the family. The crocodile must have seen this. He came up out of the water and took the man by the shoulders in front of his wife, flipped him over and swam away.
Authorities have shot dead a crocodile that's believed to have taken a man in Kakadu National Park.
A number of large crocodiles frequent this area. It always has a potential for crocodile attack. The crocodile that was shot and killed was in excess of 4.7 metres.
4.7 meters is more than 15 feet. That is a huge reptile. The scariest part of this story is the guy was in his boat when he was attacked.
I wasn't surprised to see this man taken the way he was. It's been coming for a while.
Yeah, people really think that if you're in the boat, you're okay.
Not anymore. The days of getting into your normal fishing boat, it's too dangerous now. They've lost their fear of humans. There's lots of big ones, and they're getting bigger, and they're getting more dangerous.
When crocs are dragging people out of boats, it tells me we have no time to lose back at the ranch. The fear is Adrian's workers will be next.
Hey, Paul, how are you, mate?
Hey, how's it going, Mick? Mick has bad news. Another cow was killed.
So, we quickly raised the alarm with Adrian, the station owner, and this morning he moved all the cattle out of this area so we can take care of this problem animal.
We're not sure why the croc left his kill behind. It's possible something may have spooked him. Maybe a bigger croc. Maybe even the monster we're hunting.
He's mangled up, isn't he?
Yeah.
There's some pretty horrific bite marks on it.
Yeah, the back of the neck.
Yeah.
The head. This big hole in this hind area. Yeah. The bite marks confirm this is one enormous crocodile. Mick, how big do you think the croc is that took this?
Well, looking at the width of his teeth and that, is probably between 5 and bigger.
Really? That's a big croc.
He'll come here all the time until we get rid of him.
Crocs have long memories for good hunting. As long as there's food here, there's a good chance our monster will be back. The next morning, I'm checking traps with Mick. After another cow was killed, everybody's in high alert.
Better get out and check her out, I reckon.
We're hoping the killer croc has returned. But the bait remains untouched.
It's a nice odour coming off that animal, you know.
It smells delicious.
Put his feet on the ground there.
Yeah, you can see there's a footprint right there.
The good news is, though, mate, there's crocs here.
If a monster croc was here, I don't understand why he didn't take the bait. It's time to use that dead cow. Normally, Mick doesn't want to encourage a croc's taste for beef, but these are special circumstances. Mick's hidden the carcass in the woods.
We dragged him up through this way, on the back of the quad. Can't smell anything. You could smell it from back there before, when we brought it up here. It's gone. The bait's gone.
What do you mean?
We put it over here. Here, look.
You got a hoof there?
The rib bone.
The croc's beaten us to it.
He's done the old high walk up through here, following the smell, yeah. And then he's grabbed what he could, probably 150 feet from the water's edge. That's a long way for him to come out of his security zone.
For a 1,000-pound animal? Yeah. Look, right here. He's on all fours here. And right about here, it looks like he got on his belly and just bulldozes right through here. This croc used sheer strength to carry this cow out of here.
That's the big fella.
That's the big one, you think?
The big fella, yeah.
Look at this.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
That's 1 foot.
that wide.
Yeah, that's a big, I mean,
Yeah,
that's my foot.
That's over a size 12, isn't it?
Yeah. Wow, big animal. Wow, wow, wow.
That's a big croc.
I've never seen a croc print this big. Not even here in Australia. This could be our monster.
Look at that one. There's a footprint right there. That's a front one. And that's big.
Yeah. It means a lot, really, this, doesn't it? He's come all the way down here. He's avoided that nice fresh bait. He's gone up there, grabbed what he can get, and then come back. So he's onto us.
Yeah, he's not stupid.
He's full on in stealth mode. We're dealing with a very smart and a very keen animal.
These crocs are smart. And a smart croc is a dangerous croc. It's likely a younger and less cagey croc would be in that trap already. Even if we do catch this one, there are thousands more. The best way to control them? Stop them before they're even born. I'm joining a scientific research team that's going to the heart of the Crocs lair.
Once we get into the swamp, we'll give you a bit of a rundown of what to expect. Good to have you along, though.
All right.
Let's load up.
Charlie has taken me to the epicenter of the invasion. And the only way in is by air. We're heading to the Malacca Swamp, a secret nesting ground where females have been laying eggs for decades. The swamp connects to the main waterways in the region, giving baby crocs a way out.
There was hardly any crocodiles left. Then we stumbled on Malacca Swamp, and we found something like 30 nests in this one little area.
Since hunting was banned, saltwater crocs have made an epic comeback. It all started here, in the unknown swamp below.
You can see the nest over there against that paper bark tree. And there's another one there underneath us. That's the one we're going to visit.
We'll have to go the rest of the way on foot, around a maze of tunnels that crocs have been using for years. Charlie leads us in.
This is not too deep along here, but you never quite know where the crocs are. They will build tunnels through this stuff, and that's what you've got to watch out for as you're going through.
If a croc attacked us now, we'd be in big trouble.
As soon as we get close, I'll just check the area, make sure that she's not there. As much as I love to see them, there's some times that I don't really want to see them.
Many females protect their nests ferociously, and they're never too far away.
But it looks just like a gator nest, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. I've got to have a look and see where she might be and what we've got to guard. What's over there? There's something at the back there. I didn't like the look of that. Just hang on. That's her tunnel. Just stay back if you can. These things will come out fast. Look, see that trail over there? She's obviously making her way through there. You got a deep hole. We've got to keep an eye on that. The rest of it here is pretty good. Just keep your eyes peeled as we do stuff, right?
We found the nest and the tunnel she'll use when she returns. We have to work fast.
So let's have a look at. I'd say there's 20 or 30 in there.
Oh yeah, more. The average in here, there'll be 50 eggs.
This is the stuff I like the best. Unknown to the outside world, this is where the invasion began and thrived undisturbed for decades. Now it's where Charlie's beginning to stop the onslaught of giant crocs by removing croc eggs before they hatch.
The width of these eggs actually tells us a lot about the female. Okay, 78.99, the length, 52.92. Okay, we've got 80.53, 52.80. So the width of these eggs reflects the width of her oviducts.
Right.
This is a big female, yeah. It just goes to show that even after all this time, we're still finding out new things all the time. 127.
After studying crocs for decades, Charlie's research has produced some shocking results. These giant crocodiles are getting bigger and bigger, giving us a glimpse of the monsters that once roamed Australia before white hunters ever arrived. After visiting the swamp, Charlie told me he'd explain more about the territory's croc issues. So what would be the most likely scenario if somebody, like, let's say, fell off a bridge or jumped out of the boat and tried to swim across the river?
Your chances of getting from one side to the other are exceptionally low. Every single person that has been grabbed in the water with Crocs 4 metres and above have died. What we're seeing now is overall our population is probably about 100,000 saltwater crocodiles now. Those Crocs are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, so the average size is getting bigger.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I've actually come out here to investigate on the crocodile attacks. Obviously, your work's always been fascinating to me, but we're really hoping to come across a real large, maybe the largest crocodile we can find.
Back in the 80s, when we looked at the hunting records, you know, what the size of these Crocs that these hunters actually caught, there were very, very, very few saltwater crocodiles that were bigger than about 17.5, 18 feet. The odd individual that's bigger, it's a little bit like 7 and 8 foot tall humans.
Right.
They're very, very rare.
Right.
There might be one or two out there.
The big ones are usually smarter, that's why they're big.
They're wary, so they're not going to let you get too close, so you've got to be really careful how you find them. But look, best of luck. I hope you do find it. But I'm going to say to you what I tell everyone else. If you think it's 20 foot, you've got to drag it in front of me with a ruler.
I'm the same way.
I ain't going to believe it.
That's why I'm here. Man-eaters are now in almost every pond, lake, and river. Places they've never been before, with tragic consequences.
Eaten like a lolly. That's how a Darwin mother described the death of her daughter in a crocodile attack.
Charlene O'Sullivan had no reason to believe the waterways around her home were unsafe for her young daughter.
It was a Sunday afternoon. A couple of the neighbours' kids came over and asked if they wanted to go down to a place called Black Jungle, something that they would quite frequently do on a hot afternoon. And on this particular day, the water was a lot higher, it was flowing a bit faster, so they moved down to a wider part of the creeks. And unbeknownst to them, this thing was just laying on the bottom of the water and Brioni jumped straight on top of it.
That's a shame. Have you noticed more big Crocs than there used to be in the past?
My partner and I, my son, we do seem to see a lot more big Crocs.
Really?
The waterways are becoming more crowded and they're searching for other territory.
Yeah, that seems to be the prevailing opinion down here, that there are a lot more big Crocs around and there are a lot more of them in general.
Yeah, when they were being hunted, they feared man. But these days, they don't fear us anymore.
After Brioni's tragic death, Charlene spearheaded a campaign to expand the world's first Croc safe zone.
They're deadly and they're getting too close for comfort. The Territory Government today announcing its plan to tackle the rogue reptiles by expanding the management zone from Darwin Harbour to the rural area.
Now there's at least one Croc for every man, woman and child in the Darwin area. Maybe as many as 150,000 crocodiles in all. Tommy Nichols leads the team of rangers, keeping the people of Darwin safe.
We respond to call-outs, Croc sightings. We rely heavily on the public.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same thing we have in Florida. We have the nuisance alligator hotline. We rely heavily on the public to inform us when there's a gator around somewhere where, maybe he shouldn't be. Similar safe zone projects have been attempted with sharks, but never before with crocodiles.
It's a beautiful morning, lovely calm water. How'd you like to come out for a trip and check a couple of traps?
It'd be great. Rangers patrol a 30-mile radius around Darwin. This includes the city's beaches, the harbor, and the suburbs. Back in Florida, they could never hope for gator-free zones. There are simply too many of them.
Yeah, only a little one.
How big do you think he is?
He's under 2 metres, yeah. Poor little fella. Because he's small enough, he can come out of the top.
About 6 feet is relatively small around here, but it's still big enough to attack and do some serious damage to a swimmer. Dozens of traps protect Darwin's most heavily populated areas.
We average 250 to 300 crocodiles out of these traps per year. If this program wasn't going, the chances of a fatality would be quite high.
Despite their efforts, some Crocs manage to slip through the safety net. Every year there are attacks.
Last year was our worst one. We've had 4 last year.
This is why none of the Crocs they catch are released back into the wild. From the traps, they are moved to farms or wildlife parks. The range will never be completely crocodile-free either. But every Croc we capture removes a potential killer. Well, door's closed, something's in there.
Oh yeah, he's a big fella, isn't he?
He's definitely big enough to be a cattle killer. Roping this guy and dragging him out of the trap won't be easy.
Pull that rope so I've got a bit of slack.
Righto, Rog.
Got a big head, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, pull it through so we got a bit of the tension.
One tug, and I already know he's hundreds of pounds heavier than the last croc we caught.
He's backing up already. We got the tug of war going on. Come on, mate.
Adrian is armed in case things get out of control. Ready? You pull, I'll steer. Yep. Just get him past that tree.
One,
righto.
2, 3.
What's after 3?
Hang on.
Our croc's at his most dangerous in the water. We want to get him out of the pen as fast as we can.
That's what's up. That back leg. We've got both feet planted on the ground.
This croc has kind of locked himself against the tree. We can't go near him until we get him out of that cage.
Come on, boys!
We've caught an enormous croc in the trap. But nobody's safe until we drag him onto dry land and get his mouth taped shut.
Come on, boys! One!
There he comes.
2! 3!
There we go.
Now we got him.
A little bit more out of that mud so we're not slipping. A little
Yeah,
bit more.
I think so. Go! Go!
One more.
Keep that tension on him.
There you go. Careful, Nick.
Where's that bamboo?
Down
Grab
there.
him, stretch, push his jaws shut. Rightio.
There you go.
Pretty good.
Covering the eyes calms him down. Then we can secure the jaws and the feet.
You just get his feet up off the ground for a little bit so he knows it's a waste of time. Stretch, push his knee around, please.
There we go. This croc is pretty winded by now. But a death roll could crush a grown man or at least shatter some bones. Moment of truth time. Tail of the tape. All right, folks, place your bets.
I said 4-2.
I'm going 4-3.
4-2.
4-2 as well? Right.
What do you reckon, Spooner? 4-2?
Yeah, I reckon.
All right, give me the dumb end. At least he's nice and straight. All right, what do you got? What do you got?
We got 4-2 on the knocker, brother.
4-2-20, yeah.
What they say? Big feet, big croc. That's a big animal. God, he's gorgeous too.
And the one that we got to get is, what, he's got another 4 foot. So...
And probably twice the weight.
I reckon we might need a few more people on the rope when we pull him out.
Or a truck.
Yeah.
Now we have to find this guy a new home. Roger calls a friend looking for a male to breed.
Hey, we got a 4.2 metre. You want him? No worries. We'll deliver him Savi, bro. So. Yeah, he'll have him. No worries.
No worries.
Done deal.
To move this guy, we're gonna have to get a croc weighing more than half a ton onto a truck. If we ever catch this monster croc we're hunting, this setup won't be nearly powerful enough.
Here he goes, hang on. Better pull his tail, I think.
You got him, I'll get the tail. That'll work. It's too bad we have to take this croc out of his natural habitat. But the alternative is ending up in Adrian's crosshairs, and nobody wants that to happen. Now we know the trap is working. But it's still unknown if there's a world record monster croc on this ranch. So far, Adrian's the only one of us who has seen him up close. How close have you gotten?
I actually saw him the other day. He was just under a shady tree on the edge of the water. He was floating around and then propping his back up, and then he'd flick his tail up, and then he just did a big old roll like that, like a whale. And I've never seen it. It fascinated me, and I just put it down to, mate, he's really not frightened of me.
Yeah, he's just showing
human, because he's showing me the size of his belly, you know? He's not frightened of humans. He's one hell of a big crocodile, mate. I'd hate to see him being shot, you know?
Right.
Beautiful old fella. I'd like to see him caught live.
Well, maybe we can put a tape on him for you. That'd
You
be
catch
nice.
him, and I'll measure him.
I'd love to do that. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Showing off his typical behavior in really large crocodilians. It's sending a message. I'm the big guy around here. Don't mess with me. If the monster croc we're hunting won't come to us, we'll have to go to him. We can fly it all around the edge, and anything that's big and black and possibly moving, you know the croc's there.
Let's get her up and have a look.
All right, let's get this bird in the air. The rainy season has turned a small pond into an enormous lake. Our monster croc could be anywhere. Now, where's that big one hanging out, you said? Over at that tree?
That's where the big fella lives. He had a full-grown cow in there under that tree.
I'm searching for any silhouette in the water that looks like a sunken tree. There are a few small crocs in our area, but there's no sign of our monster lurking nearby.
He also hangs out in this channel here and up where that little tributary is.
Let's go check it out. Oh, there's that's a 3-meter croc coming off the bank right there. Oh, but look at...
Oh. Wow.
That has to be the monster croc we've been looking for. That's 6 meters.
Now, I've been doing this 37 years, and that's probably one of the biggest crocodiles I've ever seen.
That's the biggest crocodilian I've ever seen in my life. That little one coming off the bank, look, he's chasing him out of town. He's got his eyes on him. This guy sees him, he's leaving. But that's got to be a 10-foot croc. Even partially submerged, we can tell he isn't just big. This is our monster. That's got to be 20 feet.
Yeah,
we got to get him.
He's taken off, look.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's the one. The drone will scare him.
Might have been
I came in too low, the drone will scare him.
Oh, that's good footage, though. I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
that verifies everything that I've been saying about him anyway.
Yeah, we know he's here. The monster is real. Bigger than anything Mick and I have ever seen. We've hunted him for days. The monsoons hit us hard.
Give me some slack.
Each capture drew us closer until the ranch flooded.
He's getting ready to go. Roll, baby, roll.
Yeah, he's an average.
Hey.
We never saw him again.
Far as we can.
This big guy is cunning. He beat out me and a team of hardcore croc trappers. What I've seen here in Australia is scary. The crocs are true man-eaters. No one loves gators and crocs more than I do. But when things get out of control, as they have here, something has to be done.